You're listening to the official Push Square podcast featuring Ben and Ben. Do you push square?
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 7 of the Push Square podcast. My name is Ben Potter. I am the video editor for the best PlayStation website on the internet, pushsquare.com. Joining me as always, even though it's only been 7 times, is Ben Tarrant. Hello Ben.
Hello Ben.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
We are on a sofa. It is really comfortable. It's not going to suddenly recline and make me poo my underwear.
Yeah, you've upgraded.
Yeah, I bought a sofa from a charity shop that someone definitely didn't die on.
It's really comfy, so who cares?
You seen the dodgy stain behind you?
No.
Don't look at the dodgy stain behind you.
Oh god.
There may have been stabbings around there. some light stabbing.
Oh my god.
See that?
Yeah.
Just light murdering.
Just ignore it, it's fine.
55 quid, man.
Yeah,
You can't say no for that, can you? A cream leather sofa. We've got a good show this week.
A good one.
And when I say good, I'm probably underselling it because it's going to be the best bloody show you've ever listened to in your entire life. We've got the news up first. We're going to talk about The Witcher, Uncharted 4 selling an ungodly amount of copies, Gran Turismo Sport, Destiny's next expansion, Far Harbor, Batman's getting an Arkham remaster.
Yep.
Battlefield 1 has been announced. The feature this week is going to be Can Sony top E3 2015, which was obviously a very, very strong E3 thing. Then we've got Joey Thurmond on, one of our reviewers at Push Square, to talk about his Doom review. Indie Bin this week will be Tabletop Racing World Tour, which was in the PS Plus update for May. And then we're going to get some questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully under an hour.
Probably.
Shall we begin?
Let's.
News! Good news? Bad news? Some news?
All the news.
What do we got first, Ben?
Blood and Wine is officially going to be the last witchery thing CD Projekt are going to do.
Oh no! They have been supporting the ever-loving crap out of this game.
Yeah.
Religiously, and
it's been incredible.
It's brilliant. Most of their DLC's been free as well.
Yeah.
Hearts of Stone, incredible. I bought the special edition of that we spoke about before. 20 quid and you get Gwent cards.
I'm still meaning to pick that up so we can actually play Gwent.
Well, you might want to look at the new one as well. Also coming with Gwent cards.
Oh.
Also coming with a Gwent deck. I don't know if it's a different deck and then you can have all the Gwent cards and you can, or not unpack it like I have, keep it in the cellophane and hide it away from the world forever and keep it safe. Because you're that kind of strange person. Like me.
Why are you from Somerset?
I don't know. Just hobbits in it. Hobbits look after stuff. Yeah.
Hobbits are particularly untrustworthy.
Mr.
Weirdos.
Frodo. Well, one of them turned into Gollum. And that's kind of.
Yeah.
It made sense in my head. Let's go with it, man.
Anyway.
Yeah, Uncharted 4. 2.7 million copies in the first week.
It's not that much, is it?
Will you shut up? I was playing Uncharted 4 when this idiot arrived. 5 minutes. He was like, oh, this looks like crap. Why are you saying this looks so good? I was like, well, he would have died if he did that. The man who's just finished playing Doom.
It's alright.
You're an idiot.
But 2.7 million. That's a lot.
That's a lot of copies.
But
yes,
it doesn't come close to GTA 5's 10.4 million or
How
something.
on earth was it going to come anywhere near GTA 5?
I know it's multi-format and stuff, but
Even if it wasn't.
that's a high order to beat.
Yeah, you're never going to do that. For an exclusive game,
Isn't it the best selling?
and the 4th entry in the series,
Yeah.
it's really, really good stuff for that.
Shame it's a rubbish game.
You're a rubbish game.
I'm just doing it to antagonise
I know
you.
you are now, but it's really annoying me.
I've not even played it.
You said well, exactly.
I am a traditional Reddit commenter.
You said that you've worked out why you don't like Uncharted.
I have.
Now, before you say this, I'm going to preface it by saying anything
wrong.
out of your lying mouth is a falsehood because you've played less than 3 hours of the worst Uncharted game, and from this you are making your opinion.
Yep.
Go on.
Do that.
Go on.
Basically, Uncharted focuses on real things like Indiana Jones and stuff, but it's all a bit too ridiculous, and I can't empathise with any of it. Whereas The Last of Us does, well, it is just Uncharted with another coat of paint. more or
It's
less.
different, very different games.
In terms of like mechanics, it's quite similar. No? There's no jet skis with bloody barrels blowing
There's no
up
jet
on me.
skis, but equally
basically
you've got
I can
craft
empathise
stuff.
more with everything that goes on in The Last
Of course,
Us.
and there's a reason for that.
And there's a lack of ridiculousness.
Neil Druckmann and his buddy, who I can't remember the name of, stepped up in a big way in The Last of Us. They made The Last of Us. When they're coming back to Uncharted 4, very much set in stone how Uncharted works, right? And if you will, they've sort of inherited the baggage from the rest of the Uncharted series. So they do their best to ground Uncharted 4, and they do their best to make Nathan Drake a relatable character, and they do a really good job. But at the end of the day, it's still an Uncharted game. It's a bombastic action, crazy action movie game that's it's got to be over the top, and
that's where it loses me.
They acknowledge that.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it shouldn't be that. I'm just saying that's probably why I don't subscribe to it.
But you're missing out if you don't give the rest of the games a go.
I will.
Because they are incredible.
I promise I will.
And what I was saying is they actually do acknowledge that they are doing their best with something that they really can't change too much. In the trophy list for Uncharted 4, there's a trophy for killing 1,000 enemies, right? And it's called ludonarrative dissonance.
Right.
Are you aware of what this phrase is?
Yeah.
According to gaming. It's when the gameplay is in stark contrast to what the themes and the plot are.
Yeah.
So Nathan Drake trying to step away, every other thing, he casually kills 40 people and then, oh, me and you, brother Drake, we're having such fun, aren't we? You just killed 40 people, right?
And that's obviously a bit of a thing.
That's a problem. And they know that. And I think they couldn't just come out and say, well, we're screwed if we do, screwed if we don't, aren't we really? Because then that would make it seem like they don't have faith in their own product.
Exactly.
By putting that little trophy name in there, they at least acknowledge
self-aware.
That, we know it's kind of ridiculous, but we needed to make a last Uncharted game, and we kind of just got to do it because this is how it goes at this point.
Okay.
Still an incredible game. Still the best Uncharted game, in my opinion, and one of the best games on PS4. One of the most amazing looking games on PS4. And one day, maybe you'll play it.
Maybe.
But I feel like the more you antagonise me, even though you're joking,
I am.
and the more that people take the piss out of you for not having played it, the more you may build up this calloused exterior where you sort of feel like you have to hate it and you feel like you have to pick holes in it. So I think the sooner you rip this stupid band-aid off and just bloody play the thing, then maybe we can start to have a proper grown-up conversation about it. Yeah.
Maybe.
What's next?
Back to the news.
Yeah, sorry.
Back to what we were meant to be talking about.
Sure, whatever.
Gran Turismo Sport had a hands-on event in London recently.
Yeah.
They spoke to the game director, who basically came out to say that the beta is cancelled. And it's also aiming to be VR ready, which is really cool. It doesn't look as good as it could, considering the time difference between
cars
the
are
last
sexy,
one.
but the environments are pretty boring, aren't they?
But to chuck that into VR, I think a VR...
You wouldn't be looking at the buildings, would you, if you were in VR?
Exactly. A VR driving game, it lends itself naturally to that, and I'm really excited at the prospect of that.
Yeah.
But the beta is henceforth
We
cancelled.
forgot to talk about VR again after I went to go and play it at Rezzed.
Oh, really?
Totally forgot to bring it up again on the podcast.
Ah.
I played the London Heist this time.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Like the interactivity, it's fantastic. My serious gripe with it, with the technology, is that it's just too low of a resolution.
Well, I'm trying
It's
it
not
tomorrow.
even the fact, are you?
I'm trying it
Then
tomorrow.
we can have a proper conversation about
Yeah.
it. It's not that the screens in there are too low of a resolution, it's because you're so close to them.
Okay.
That's a problem. It's like if you went up and put your face in front of that TV right there, anything would look pretty blurry and bad.
Naturally.
Because it's so close to your face, everything's a bit rough and out of focus.
So do you think they need
and
like
it looks-
smaller pixels?
I don't know. I
that
honestly,
possible?
I don't even know how they could get around this. People
Yeah.
who are far more into the technology than I am will know. But when you try it, you will probably know. You forget after a while because it's like, this is amazing. I'm actually in here and I'm moving around and stuff.
But when you
put it
off-
on, you think, oh, this looks rough.
Really?
This looks rough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ring you tomorrow. We can talk about this.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Let me know what you
Looking
think.
forward to it.
Destiny has. Well, it's got a new expansion. It's not confirmed though, right?
It basically is.
Rise of Iron, a leaked image.
Yes. Basically, someone did a naughty photo of marketing imagery for Rise of Iron, which will focus on Lord Saladin, Iron Banner bloke.
Okay. Is he the one with the cool armor that everyone wants? That you
Yeah,
can't
the
get?
one you get is worthless.
Or the furry one. Furry.
No, that's Lord Shaxx.
Oh, my bad.
That's the
Sorry.
Crucible guy. Okay. This is meant to be the same size expansion as the Taken King, so if you're into doing the same missions 20 times, it'll probably be your bag. But
that's Destiny, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've woken up and smelt the coffee and realised that it's a sack of
okay.
then this probably won't be for you, but it's a pretty image.
Destiny. We hope you like playing the same missions over and over again.
It should be on the box.
Yeah, no, sounds like it. Right, you read the next one, because I need to get up, walk over there, pick up that notepad, and write down the time that you just swore so I can bleep it out.
Speaking of sacks of proverbial excrement, Far Harbour was reviewed by none other than Robert Ramsey, and he gave it a 4 out of 10.
Oh, man, 4. Why? What happened?
Because the fog that populates the island of Far Harbour ruins the frame rate.
Island of Sodor.
Shut up. Thomas the Tank Engine references. And why did I know that reference? It plummets the frame rate. Now, I'm not one to sit there and go, oh, it's only 30 frames a second. It doesn't faze me as much as some people.
But what if it goes down to 1?
If it goes down to 1, I'm going to throw my controller at the screen. It was ridiculous. Literally, I've seen PowerPoint presentations with faster frame rates.
So you've played this?
Yes, I have.
Have you finished it, or have you gone, nope, do this now?
I walked into the fog and went, nah, I'll wait for a patch, and walked back out, saved, and left it. I'm not playing anymore until they patch it. It's disgusting.
Bad.
That is bad.
That is
and
not good.
As far as I'm aware, it's exclusive to the Xbox. As far as I'm aware, it's exclusive to
the
PlayStation.
PS4 version. How?
No idea.
How have they done that?
They had the same kind. Interestingly, they had the same kind of issue with the smoke at the end of Firewatch. That plummeted the frame rate quite considerably. So,
really?
And apparently, early Gran Turismo games, when you'd go through the gravel, it would kick up dust, and that used to crash the frame rate as well. So
like,
they're seemingly
this
inept.
Is practically a PC though. Now they haven't made it like a complicated, weird console thing.
What happened to QA? How did no one play it on PS4 and go, hang on?
Tell you what, if I was bloody in QA on that,
yeah,
would have logged all those bugs, man. Bug logger.
It's a secret alluding to your life outside of this podcast.
Secret. But anyone who follows me on Twitter knows exactly what I do. Batman Return to Arkham.
Some bloody remaster again.
You say bloody, I'm very excited.
Really?
Arkham Asylum.
They're very good.
It's so good. It's so good, Ben. Ben.
I really like it.
It's so good.
I know. I didn't like City.
So good. I liked City. I haven't actually. I loved City, but I haven't played it since it came out. So I'm ready to go.
So actually, yeah, you're probably in the best position.
I'm ready to go. And I went back to Arkham Asylum and played it through again. One of those games that, you know, in this modern day of way too much to play and not enough time, you very rarely go back to enjoy things that you've played before, especially if there's no incentive to do so other than for your own enjoyment. And this is one of the few games where I actually went back and thought, I want to play this through again.
Yeah.
So
Fair
good.
enough.
I got like 99% of the trophies on PS3. Those bloody free flow challenges suck. I hate those. I'm not good.
The combat's good in them. Speaking of free flow, it is very good.
It doesn't have Arkham Origins in, but I suppose this is more of a Rocksteady collection.
Rocksteady, yeah, it is, yeah, definitely.
But I actually have Arkham Origins over there, and I would like to play it at some point.
Okay.
Just over there on PS3, so I will play it at some point because I haven't played it before.
It was leaked a while ago, and it got confirmed now. So
A while ago. Battlefield 1.
You have some opinions on this.
I have some strong opinions on this.
What are they?
Set in World War One.
Yep.
I want to preface this because I've gone into great detail on other podcasts
Yep.
about my opinions, about my reasons for various things and so on. I'm very excited about the idea of another game set in World War One.
Yep.
I loved Valiant Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It had some problems, but I thought artistically
It was special.
it was very good, very respectful of the war, which is still extremely fresh in Europe. Maybe not so much in the States, but we remember this war every year.
Yeah.
When we wear poppies.
Yes.
And across the Commonwealth and the rest of Europe and that sort of stuff, and all the countries that were dragged into it, it's still a very sensitive subject. They need to treat this war with a great deal of respect.
Definitely.
And that trailer really concerned me.
Well, you remade it with the Valiant Hearts music.
Yeah, it was the music specifically. It was the music, because you've got this depictions of people bashing each other's heads in with spiked bats, and then it's go, boo, 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 boo. It's like, really?
Well, I personally think your trailer was far better.
With the Valiant Hearts music over the top. It made you sit there and think, oh, this is really horrible. This is really...
completely changed the
Because this wasn't, World War One was not... And I don't want to get too much into it because it's a really heavy subject. But World War One was not a war where there were good guys and bad guys.
There was no hoorah,
There was no hoorah, hell yeah. There wasn't one guy who saved the world. It was trench foot. It was trench warfare where thousands of lives were lost for inches.
Literally inches.
Nobody wanted to be there on any side. It was a war that came about because of treaties and agreements and that sort of stuff.
Bureaucracy.
It was ridiculous. It was a stupid war. Loads of people died for almost no reason.
Yeah.
Nothing was gained from the end of that war, and it was awful. And it absolutely should be explored in a game because it's a very, very interesting time period, and there are so many incredible stories that you could tell. I understand that the likelihood of this being an overzealous EA marketing department thinking, how are we going to sell this? Let's get some sporky butts and wub-wubs. Get a wub-wubs in there.
Get wub-wubs.
I understand that's probably what was happening here, and I'm sure it's being developed by a European studio, it's being developed at DICE. I'm sure they're going to treat it with respect. But you cannot have the one guy who saves the world. This doesn't work with this war. It doesn't work. It'd
be interesting to see if they bring this forward with some sense of humility.
Yeah, if it ends with... If there are any happy moments in it, I would be extremely surprised. It's an incredibly grim war. It's an incredibly grim war.
It'd be a nice change.
What, to have like the... Well, Spec Ops did it really well.
Yes,
as well.
I was going to say Spec Ops. You had that self-awareness.
It's a shooter,
moment.
But throughout you feel dirty.
You're looking at your gun like,
this is horrible.
Yeah,
the
really
stuff
cool
that's happening around me that I'm doing is really nasty, and if they can capture that, then it will be really, really special because it hasn't been covered too much in games.
No,
and they have a real opportunity here because it is untouched by the mainstream FPS market. So depending on how they treat it, could spell out the future for how other franchises tackle World War One if they want to do it.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to see how they do it.
Yep.
But I'm concerned as well.
And with the Battlefield name behind them, who better than to set the standard?
Yeah. I just hope they do it properly. They have a real touching, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching campaign in there because it's, as I said, it's not like World War II where there were quote-unquote bad guys. There was an ideology that needed to be defeated, that sort of stuff. There was a figurehead. It's horrible. Yeah. World War One is horrible. There's nothing that came from World War One, and there was no reason for it.
There's a reason we wear poppies every year.
Well, exactly. And I'm not going to talk any more about it. People may disagree. I know I watched a few trailer reactions with, and I don't want to stereotype, but with Americans in, who were like, I love that music, it's amazing. But do you though? It contrasts what's actually happening in front of your face.
What did you think of the trailer? Feel free to let us know in the comment section or in the forums. Please do. Love to chat.
And again, very excited for the game.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned, and I'm going to play it. I think
they're fair concerns.
Yeah, so. I hope so. That's the news.
That is the news.
Feature time.
For they are coming back. At last, the promise has been made.
E3 2015 was a very strong E3 for Sony. We had The Last Guardian re-emerging. We had Final Fantasy VII Remake officially announced, and Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3 is a thing that is happening. 2016 is really going to have to step their game up.
Well, the last E3 was the E3 of miracles, as many called it.
Oh, the E3 of miracles.
Do your Andrew House voice.
Oh, we thought E3 2015 was an amazing show, and we're so happy to be back at E3 to show you what we've been working on from around the PlayStation world. And it makes PlayStation the best place to play.
I don't know if that made you guys laugh, but I love that.
I feel like it changes every time I do. The one thing that's very difficult to nail with the Andrew House impression is that he has weird American twangs on certain words.
Yeah, you get it.
He just drops it in halfway through his sentence, he'll suddenly go Foxsucker Plus, and then he'll carry on talking, and it sounds very strange, but you can tell that there's a sincerity to what he's saying, to you, and to the audience watching around the world.
You've got his pauses down. He does that. His delivery is like so staggered.
I wonder how it's interesting to... It must be interesting to talk to the guy. What would you like for dinner, Andrew? Oh, well, if it were up to me, we would go for chicken.
We should get on with the
Thanks,
feature.
Andrew. Sorry. So much fluff here. What would you like to see then in E3 2016? What do you think would top 2015 for you?
I mean, it was good, especially with Bethesda's conference as well. I know we're talking about Sony's, but as E3 as a whole, it was super special. I'm so glad The Last Guardian was brought back into the limelight. And actually saying that, I'd love to have a release date for that.
A year later, we haven't seen or heard anything.
Yeah, it's been very quiet, hasn't it? I'd appreciate a release date, something locked in, just so that they can't keep pushing it back and pushing it back.
Yeah.
I've been really pining for the Shadow of the Colossus recently as well. Really? After mentioning it on the last episode.
I'm surprised they haven't remastered the remaster and put those games on PS4.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do a bundle thing.
Or even if they just do the digital thing like they did with Bully and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that and bundle it with The Last Guardian. Maybe did I say that?
No.
Oh.
It's from South Park. Bunbury.
I don't watch that crap. If they bundle it in with...
Losing a lot of support here.
That would be cool. I'd quite like to see this Destiny expansion. And they said reboot. Bloody hope it does reboot it.
Yeah, they should change a lot about it.
I really, really want to like Destiny. And I really, really don't. So if they can bring something in that changes it up, because the one thing people are moaning about is replaying the sodding missions.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll listen. Maybe they'll stop nerfing shotguns.
Maybe.
Probably not. Well, and I'd like to see Cyberpunk 2077.
Is there any money in that? Is there any money in nerfing shotguns?
Huh?
Is there any money in for Bungie and Activision?
It balances the Crucible, but then it just makes Crucible crap.
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah. Next game from CG Projekt Red. Would be very exciting to see that. There are also various rumours. The unending Crash Bandicoot return rumour, which again, despite the fact that people said to us surprisingly that it's a nostalgia thing. I do want to see it come back. I still don't get it.
It won't. Activision still own the rights to it.
Yeah.
So unless Sony chuck out a shed load of money, they're not going to do anything with it.
They're not going to see a return on that.
No.
They're not going to see a return on it.
At all. I mean, nostalgia only sells so much. I mean, Activision still have Spyro, don't they, as well?
Oh, probably. There's Skylanders, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Skylanders at this point bastardised it beyond all recognition.
And obviously, with Disney Infinity no longer about, they've canned that, haven't they? So Skylanders takes centre stage. They're not going to let that go.
Skylanders still going? Do people still Skyland? Is that a verb?
Yeah, still make it a verb. Yeah, it's still doing really well. Well enough to kill Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
And obviously Lego Dimensions as well.
Lego Dimensions is still going.
Yeah,
they're so expensive. I have no interest in Toys to Life stuff.
No.
It's got enough crap around here as it is.
Detritus.
Got 2 Move controllers in there.
Detritus.
I went to...
you need the Move, your PSVR.
I know, I went to a charity shop. Charity shops are great. Bought a PlayStation Move controller for a tenner.
Really?
Yeah, bought that brand new DualShock 3 for 15 quid. In its box and everything. Yeah, wow. £15 at a charity shop. Go to charity shops, people. They do not understand what they have there most of the time, so just rip them off. But still, you're giving money to a good cause, so it's all right. Obviously, the stuff that we've heard about this year so far as well, PlayStation 4K.
Yep.
It's got to show up there, surely.
I mean, it's getting to that point now where we said several episodes ago that they need to announce something for me soon.
At this point, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. At this point, it's close enough to E3 for them to get away with doing it at E3.
Yeah.
I've been noticing severe drops in price of the PS4.
Yeah, you could get Uncharted 4 and a PS4 for 260 quid or something.
You could get a white PS4, Doom, Uncharted, Black Ops 3, and another game, which the games alone totaled at 250 quid, roundabout, and you could get all of that and a PS4 white with a DualShock, obviously, $299.
Oh, that is a good deal.
I nearly bought it just to sell it on.
That's incredible.
But yeah, they're clearly flogging PS4s. most general retailers have dropped the price of the PS4 quietly, but they've dropped it, which has got to be clearing stock.
Well, now's the time to get a PS4, it seems, if you don't give a crap about 4K.
Yeah.
Then obviously PSVR is going to play a big role in E3 as we're rolling towards the release date at the end of the year.
And they'd obviously, if they're going to do PS4K, they'll wrap it up with PSVR.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's the only place to play. Best place to play. Let's talk about some other games that we might see surprise announcements for. Red Dead Redemption 2, perhaps.
Yep.
Which had a leaked map. Skyrim... Another Skyrim,
Elder Scrolls 6.
Elder Scrolls 6,
Skyrim 2,
possibly Bethesda are there again. What are they going to show off?
Yeah, they've
got to have something.
They had a lot to show at their last conference, and they've got another conference this time. Obviously, Dishonored 2
yeah.
Gameplay.
I feel like they showed that ages ago. They announced Dishonored 2 ages ago.
They announced it, but then they showed like a bit of.
Was it
like
2
E3s
ago?
Like an announcement
maybe?
trailer and stuff. No, it wasn't that long ago.
Mass Effect. We need some Mass Effect stuff.
They'll
please.
definitely show you that.
Gotta have some Mass Effect, please.
Yeah.
What else we got? Final Fantasy 7. Persona 5 is going to be there, which I'm very excited about. We didn't put Persona 5 on the news docket, but it has a Japanese release date of September.
Yes.
And it's confirmed to be at E3 this year, so I'm really excited to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, because you loved Persona 4.
Oh man, one of my favourite games.
Yeah.
One of my favourite games ever. There's lots they could do to make it. We're naming a lot of stuff that's probably not going to be at Sony's press conference, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, if an Elder Scrolls game is going to show up, it's going to be at Bethesda, and then they've probably got some deal
Destiny
with Xbox.
will be at Sony's.
Yeah, Destiny, but is that really going to make it top E3 2015?
Also, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Ignore me. I've forgotten now.
No.
You've ruined it.
I always ignore you anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
Point is, there's lots of stuff they could do. In terms of services that they could offer, we gave sort of predictions. I think we had a question a few shows ago. One thing I want them to do is just to come out and put their hands up and say, our network service is crap. You're paying us money. We're giving you crap games. Service doesn't go anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to completely revamp it. We're going to change things around. You're going to get 2 games per month. They're going to be really good games.
Good games, yeah.
Or you get to, even if we offer even bigger games every month. We get just a chapter of Knack. What they could do to help PS Plus make it a bit more exciting is they offer 2 big games, but make them even bigger than if they were offering 2, and make you choose between one or the other. So you don't get both.
Like a voting system.
Yeah. Well, no. As in, you get a choice of 2.
Okay.
And you can have either one, but you're only allowed one.
Okay.
And it could be an even bigger game.
Yeah.
So you get a choice of Assassin's Creed Unity or Knack. Some people will choose Knack.
Yeah.
Some people would choose Assassin's Creed Unity.
I'd choose Knack because I've
Both
got
people
Unity.
would lose, but that's not the point. You would have a bigger choice there.
Yeah. That would be a good thing to do.
They need to fiddle around with PS Plus. They really do, because it is still financially a great deal. You're getting a lot of money in terms of games.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of games for your money, but quality's not always there.
No, agreed.
And we're going to talk about one after we speak to
Joey
Thurmond about
Doom.
Are you ready to do that?
Well, you say you'll talk to him.
Oh yeah, I was very quiet.
Yeah. We've changed something up a little bit because Wally here actually got his dates wrong, which was why we had to postpone.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to get away with it by just pushing the show forward, and I've taken the time now to
I'm not
call him
pushing the
out
show
on it.
forward to hide my mistakes. It's because I'm an excellent host. That's what I'm doing.
But as a curse for this Wally move of yours,
Okay.
I took the reins on the review this time, didn't I?
Right, yeah. Time for Tarrant and Thurmond to get into it.
Let's do this.
And now joining us on the phone from the United States of America, it's Joey Thurmond. Hello, Joey.
Hey, Ben and Ben. How are you doing?
Very well,
Yeah,
thank
we're
you.
doing good.
How are you? How are things stateside?
It's going pretty well. I mean, nothing in particular to point out, but yeah, it's just going good.
How's the weather? That's the thing people ask, right?
Yeah.
When they ask you. How's the weather, Joey?
Yeah, well, being in North Carolina lately, the weather's it's all over the place. Some days it'll be like 40 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it'll shoot up to like 80 degrees. It's like from summer to like close to winter almost. It can get really weird.
So you've played Doom.
Yes,
that was a thing you've done, and you reviewed it for Push Square. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
Well, I was really excited to play Doom from the moment I saw the reveal trailer because, like I pointed out at the beginning of my review, most shooters lately have been about really taking a lot of cover and moving slowly toward objectives, and they're more slower paced in a lot of ways, and gameplay really doesn't encourage constant movement like the shooters from the 90s, and that kind of gameplay didn't really transition from that era either. So when Wolfenstein The New Order came out, that was kind of a shock for me because it kind of blended that kind of gameplay with modern design sensibilities. And it was easily one of my favorite shooters that I've played in a really long time. And the thing with Doom is that it takes that and cranks it up to 11, where you are always on the move, and it's just a far cry from how you, that's not a pun, from how you play shooters today. So I think it's going to be a shock for a lot of people who love the shooter genre because it's just so different in terms of you really don't see that kind of shooter these days. But boy, is it a lot of fun, man, I'll tell you.
A lot of people have a skewed idea of what an FPS actually is, because obviously Doom is essentially the beginning of that genre. And a lot of people just think of FPS and they think of their CODs, their Battlefields and stuff, and they forget that this kind of adrenaline rush is where it all began.
Right, and I think Wolfenstein: The New Order found a great balance between, okay, we're bringing in some new things, that have been going on with the shooter genre, but we're going to bring some of the old school stuff back so people know what that was like, and it was a good balance. But Doom is like, okay, kids, it's time for the granddaddy of shooters to come back and show you how it's done. And that's what Doom really is. I've seen some people really describe it well as Doom is just Doom in 2016. Like it's not like a shooter that combines a whole bunch of modern stuff and tries to make Doom not archaic in a lot of ways. It's Doom, but it just plays even better, and it looks incredible. And it combines a couple of things like modern upgrade mechanics, but other than that, like I keep saying it over and over, it's Doom through and through.
Because you keep saying it, but that's what everybody was so worried about. I mean, the beta got everybody very riled up that it wasn't Doomy enough, but obviously that was only the multiplayer, and I presume what you're so smitten by is the single player, because I've played the multiplayer, I've played Doom, and I'm not sure I share your opinion on how great it actually is.
Right.
How did you think the multiplayer kind of sat into it?
Yeah, the multiplayer is definitely different from the single player. I will say that I enjoy the single player a lot more.
Yep.
But the multiplayer, it just feels it feels generic in a lot of ways.
I agree.
With some of the modes that it adds and how it has loadouts and everything. It really doesn't embrace that old Doom, or Quake, I should say.
Yeah, Quake.
that made it successful back in the day. It didn't bring that to 2016, but I mean, besides its obvious problems, I still think it's okay. It can be a lot of fun because it is more fast paced than most multiplayer shooters. So when you really get into it, and with just normal team deathmatch or something, you can get in some really great firefights every now and then. But yeah, I don't see it really going anywhere over the next several months. I think it'll probably die down over time. Sure. But hopefully they'll fix some of the things by adding some more modes and stuff like that.
Like Free For All, which was
exactly,
a huge omission.
I know.
Like,
I was really
what is going on?
That wasn't there.
And obviously, we've spoken about the two other pillars. The third pillar of Doom 2016 is Snap Map. Now, in your review, you mentioned you hadn't had that long with it. Right. You fiddled around and stuff. Have you jumped back in at all?
I actually have. Last night, I decided to mess around with it for about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm terrible at making custom things in games. I usually stay away from stuff like Little Big Planet because I'm not a really creative person. It's a fun game to play, but I'm not so big into like making the levels myself because I'm just not talented enough to do that like some people are. But messing around with SnapMap, I was really surprised by the intuitiveness of the system and how it eases you into putting the pieces of maps together and creating some of the logic pathways for making the AI work and getting, I don't know, like a certain door to open when the player does something. It's really conveyed well in visual design, like how you put everything on the map and like connect it all together with those pathways I mentioned. So, and there are a lot of people that make a lot of really cool maps that you can play. Some of them are not so great, but it's really, you don't really see that much so far because it's such a time investment. But over time, I really think people are going to make some awesome stuff with the Snap Map. It has a lot of potential.
See, my biggest complaint was Snap Map and multiplayer combined just felt kind of like you said generic. Snap Map seems very held back, and it doesn't give you enough variety. You mentioned all of the kind of, you can tell it to do things, but that seems very much restricted to what gameplay mode you've set it up in, and it doesn't seem like a good replacement for mods at all.
Oh, right. You have to like kind of understand where this is a console game after all, with mods being kind of hard to work for consoles. But yeah, I do agree that I wish there had been more options, like with specifically where you can go, because the only things you have are like just insides of buildings.
It's just UAC facilities, isn't it? I really wish we had demon stuff.
Yeah, more if you go into hell, or if you could just venture outside the base, it would have been really cool. But I mean, just thinking about that from a console perspective, I can see like the nightmares beginning to take place when you bring that kind of thing into Snap Map. So for what it is, I think it's good. It works well, and there's definitely a lot of things that people can do with it that are really surprising.
Yeah.
But you're right, it is held back in some ways because of the lack of environments and just some of the other things you wish you could do.
So 9 out of 10, pushsquare.com?
Yes, 9 out of 10. Sammy and I had a discussion about that, actually. I expected the game to end 5 or 6 missions before it actually did.
Yeah.
And it just kept going. And just going through it one time, it really was one of the most fun campaigns I've played in quite a while, because it just fully embraces that Doom foundation.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Joey. It's been great.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
And your review is up now on pushsquare.com. Indie Bin. It's time for Indie Bin. I'm hosting Indie Bin.
Hey,
look at that.
Look at that. Switching it up.
Tabletop Racing World Tour.
Yep.
A game that was released on PlayStation Plus. It got 4 out of 10 on Push Square. Sam Brook.
That's pretty harsh, isn't it?
Having played a lot of it,
Yep.
I would have given it like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
I like it a lot. It's not a top-down racer like Micro Machines, but it is sort of miniaturized cars.
Yeah, it's literally on tabletops, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's 3 classes of cars, and each class has 4 different cars in.
Right.
You can upgrade the cars, and each class of car has 2 different tournaments assigned to it.
Okay.
And within each tournament, there are different types of races. Like there's a pursuit one where a car will spawn halfway around the track, and you basically have to race to catch up with it within a certain time.
Okay.
There's a straight up race. You have weapons where you can fight things. There are time trials, that sort of stuff, and they all build up to a final multi-race, if you will, at the end of the championship
tournament thing. Yeah.
You get star ratings for each: bronze, silver, gold, based on how well you perform. And It's good. It's really fun.
Sounds like a lot of
quite
content.
addictive. And you get special events as well, which are kind of like standalone things from the tournaments, but quite harsh sometimes. Like quite harsh stipulations. Like all of the other people racing will have the particular tire that has spikes on it. So if you drive into them, you'll be slowed down. So I was like, cool. So I can't touch any other car while I'm racing. That's annoying. It does have some problems. Like when you upgrade, there's no real tactile feedback of what you're upgrading. So there'll be speed, handling, acceleration, armor, and you'll just be hammering X to spend money to fill up a bar, but it doesn't feel like you're really increasing anything. Your car will be getting better, but it visually doesn't change, and you know there's nothing really there to make you feel like you're doing anything. There's only a handful of tracks, and the way that they change that up is that they block bits off and open up other bits, make you go around backwards, that sort of stuff. Just switch it around.
Typical tropes.
Sorry?
Typical tropes.
Typical tropes. Good alliteration.
Slight mouthful though.
Yeah. There are some weird collisions sometimes.
Yeah.
It's me wearing my developer hat. Where you'll occasionally, you'll be going a reasonable speed with a car and then it'll go, nope, and you'll fly off. It's got online.
Okay.
Servers are a bit crap. Very unlikely that you're going to A, jump into a game, and B, that host is going to be paying attention to actually start the game because people have finally joined.
Yeah.
It is very pick up and play friendly. The day you texted me and suggested I play it, I sat down and played a bit. Thought, this is pretty good. And then I platinumed it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh my god!
So I got a gold on all of those things. It was quite refreshing actually because it's not a
You're ridiculous.
It's not a difficult platinum.
You have a problem.
But there are a lot of races where you actually have to just be good. You can't cheat. Good. You can't exactly. There's no exploits you can use. You just have to play it again until you do it the best that you could possibly do it.
So really, the question is, Potter, is it in my bin? Is it indie bin or outie bin?
It's outie bin.
It's outie bin.
I like it. It's outie bin.
Your debut indie bin is outie bin.
Is outie bin. Fire up that JPEG and send it on over to those people. But there we go. Outie bin.
Excellent.
Time for some audience questions. Audience question time. These questions very kindly submitted by you guys. We left it a little bit late to ask for questions, so we actually reached into our talent pool on Push Square and got some questions from some of the staffers, so you may recognise some of these names. First up,
Anchor Sam _9.
I'm fairly sure he's a staffer anyway.
He is.
Sam Brooke.
Sam Brooke.
Yeah.
Is Uncharted 4 worth the 10 out of 10s? Now,
you shut your face!
Yep.
You shut your face!
I won't answer this. No. You played it.
Yeah.
Is it worth a 10 out of 10?
It has problems, but in my opinion, what it does is so far ahead of anything that does something similar.
It deserves it.
It needs that because it is a benchmark. It's a benchmark game. It's a, regardless of what you think of it, it's very much a come at me bro game.
Yeah.
Like, if games want to be really, really good, that's what they've got to aim for.
So a 10 out of 10 is pretty fair.
Even if it's just, which sounds like a terrible excuse, but even if it's just to make an example of it in the best possible way, it needs to be a 10. Because people need to look at that and think, that is what we should be doing.
It's a goal game.
Yeah, exactly. Lara Croft, the new Lara Croft games, they're great, but Uncharted is it's almost reinvented itself again since Lara Croft came back in and thought, I'm going to kind of try and do what Uncharted does. It's sort of iterated on itself again and again and again, that it's just a totally different beast now. Whereas like, you can play Lara Croft and get a totally different experience, and that's great, but you can't compare the two. Because Nathan Drake is he's run off.
Which people seem to do quite a lot.
He's doing his own thing. Naughty Dog are just in another stratosphere. They're incredible. So yes, it does deserve the 10 out of 10.
Nice. Next up,
Rudy Manchego.
Love that name.
Movies you'd like turned into games.
My first instinct is either Fallout or The Elder Scrolls. I feel
movies you'd like turned into games. Games turned into movies.
Well, they're games I'd like turned into movies.
Okay.
Movies I'd like turned into games. Matrix into another game.
Into a good game.
Into a good game. Yeah.
I would like.
Path of Neo was actually quite good though.
Was it?
Yeah, I quite liked that.
I'd like Django Unchained as an expansion for Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
where you're just riding around with Dr. Schultz.
That's really good.
Killing all the racists. It'd be amazing.
I'm swiftly going through all the films I like at the moment. Watchmen, did that get turned into a game?
Watchmen had a hilariously terrible game. And it had 2 parts. And it has a special place in my heart because I know it's bad, but I love it. And it's so terrible. And I've got them on PS3. And me and a friend of mine, we play through it every so often. And it is appalling, but it's so funny. It's really bad.
I don't know, this is really difficult. I'm so used to saying games I'd like into movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd like a Mass Effect style Guardians of the Galaxy game where you're just a group of idiots bumbling your way around the galaxy, but you're still really good. An Archer game, I know that's not a film, but a spy agency filled again with idiots who are actually really capable and all the ridiculous stuff you get yourself into.
Do it kind of like Borderlandsy.
Yeah, kind of, except it wouldn't be open world, but it would.
Style.
That could work as an episodic adventure. I'd go for that. Anything else?
I don't know, I can't be much. I'm not doing much help with this one.
Oh, mate. Well, let's move on then. Let's move on to Stephen Telby. Is Kickstarter a good way to make games? Shenmue, The Black Glove, etc.
No.
I don't like it.
I don't like it,
and I resent it because the companies that are using it have no risk. They don't have to answer to backers.
Yeah.
They don't have to answer to financiers. They don't have to answer to a publisher. Of course, it's not quite that simple because they still have to answer to the people who funded their game. But they could easily, and I know Double Fine have done this a couple of times now, haven't they? Where they could have easily gone to any publisher and said, we'd like to make a game. And they go, okay, here's some money. It's because they want the IP. It's because they don't want to put up any of the money themselves.
Yeah, exactly
and it all seems extremely dodgy to me. And I know they make it as transparent as possible, but there are better ways to go about it. And I don't like this at all. If you like the game, that's fantastic. If you feel like you need to support it, you can always buy merchandise. You can always pay for the game when it comes out.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I feel like it should only be really small games, people who have a vision and an idea that they can't take to a publisher, that should be using it.
And that's where I obviously mentioned The Black Glove on our show notes here, and that was a game from developers from Irrational,
right?
From Bioshock, and it's very much like, I was really smitten with the idea of this game. If you haven't heard of it, watch the YouTube trailer for it. It looks kooky as hell and brilliant. I backed it and never heard anything about it, and it got canned, and they'd never emailed me to mention it or anything like that, and I had to seek out my money, and it was a real shame.
Really?
That it had come to that and stuff, and it's a shame that they didn't feel like they could take it to a publisher or something.
That sucks, man.
So
next question from Alex Stinton.
Where does he live again?
I think it's Lichfield.
Lichfield.
Numbered review scores, should they exist? I know you have an opinion on this, so...
No. I don't think they should at all. I'm really getting annoyed with people scrolling to the bottom of a review and going, oh, well, that's not the right score.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that.
We're all guilty of it,
yeah.
But it's the people that then are abusive when they don't understand, 1, how the score scale works, 2, what's mentioned in the review, 3, the fact that the number is proprietary and it doesn't mean anything. The review, the opinion, there's a reason people write these 1,000-word reviews is to back up that score. People hinging on this score drive me insane, and the fact that people are getting abused, people getting their children threatened, their significant others threatened, their lives threatened, events are being postponed because of bomb threats because someone gave something a low score. People are making petitions left, right and centre like children, all because of bloody numbers on a screen. Grow up, play the game, or listen to someone else's informed opinion and take it from there. Stop hinging on a sodding number.
You want to swear? You can swear if you want.
No.
You can say that line again and swear?
Stop hinging on a number. Thank you, I needed that.
It's alright. I'll get my pen.
Yeah, had it out. I've done it twice in this one. To be fair, you egged me up on that one.
Well, I feel like sometimes swearing helps things, so we need to do that. Next up, John McCormick. Too many games released? Causing tough decisions on what to skip?
Yes.
That sounds like it's the lead into an article. Read on and we'll tell you how to handle all of your games.
Yeah, way too many games.
Oh, at the moment, yeah. I don't know where to go. Look, you see that there? It's a copy of Ratchet & Clank.
You got it?
I'm borrowing it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
No.
Got a Platinum Uncharted 4, nearly done with that. Yeah, Platinum 103. Then I've got a
You're
Platinum...
a machine, I'm
got
worried
Platinum
about
the Goosebumps game, which is terrible, which I already own. I've got some other game that I'm going to Platinum. Then I've got Final Fantasy X over there. The thing is, it's pretty much smooth sailing for a while.
Okay.
We haven't got much on the horizon at this point, which
I think
is quite
everybody
nice.
looked at May last year and was like, oh, Just the Witch came out. Let's put all the games in May.
Yeah, all the games. Although it seems like all of them are doing pretty well sales-wise.
Yeah.
Overwatch is out tonight when we're talking.
Yes.
So, very exciting. Yes, there are. And decisions on what to skip, not so much because maybe if this was a month where it was just Doom and it was just Ratchet & Clank, I'd be tempted to buy either one of those.
Yep.
But I don't really mind. You know, there's nothing that I'm forcing myself to skip that I wouldn't have bought and then just put down and then played when I finished.
But also, just because you don't play them in the first week that they release doesn't mean you can't ever play them.
Yeah.
I think I'm not skipping them so much as putting them on the back burner.
Oh yes. Lord Barker, Editor-in-Chief. Most anticipated 2016 title now that Uncharted 4 and Dark Souls 3 are out.
I can't remember what's even coming out this year.
Persona 5.
Is that
Assuming it comes out this year.
Yeah, in the West.
Persona 5 is still my very much excited must-have game of the year. Mafia 3 looks really good.
Yeah. What else? I've been so excited for Dark Souls 3 and Doom. I've been kind of warped and wrapped up in them. I don't know what else I would even consider a pre-order it or anything like that.
Finally, The McNoisy. Thoughts on the results of the forum's top 25 PlayStation titles. So, The McNoisy, forum legend,
Yep.
over the course of quite a while now, it seems like he's
Proper
been
trooper.
accumulating people's votes and their favourite games ever on PlayStation, and he's got this top 25 list.
I need to say something about this list.
I can see that you've written some very angry words next to it on our show notes, so get on with it.
There's a dangerous lack of walking simulators.
Oh, there's a 26, 7, 8, 9. That's why your walking simulators were. They didn't quite make the cut. That's what the problem was.
But Everybody's Gone to the Rapture needed to be on there.
Yes, it's a fantastic game. I like it a
Did
lot.
need to be on there.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
That's a good, solid list. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of
very
stuff in
good.
there that I would agree with. In fact, most of my favourite games ever on that.
yeah.
That's a good list. You can go check out the full list on the forums. It's probably one of the longest threads there, so it should be relatively easy to find. And thank you very much to the McNoisy for organising that and accumulating those games. If you want to take part in the next questions section, you can always go to the Push Square forums. That's pushsquare.com/forums. We're in the online community section and we're stickied right to the top, so make sure you go and put some questions in there for us, please.
And we regularly ask 4 questions, so if you never want to miss something, check the Watch This Topic box when you reply, and you'll get an email whenever we post.
Oh, fancy.
Coming up on pushsquare.com, we've got a lot of Overwatch stuff. And there should be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review.
I like how you had to enunciate.
I'd have messed that up
Teenage
otherwise.
Mutant Ninja.
And there's going to be a lot of build up to E3. Because obviously that's happening soon.
Oh yeah, man.
Where else can everybody find this great PlayStation content, Potter?
Well, Mr. Tarrant, if you want coming straight to your social media feeds, then follow us on Twitter at PushSquare or find us on Facebook.com/PushSquare. And if you want to watch stuff rather than read it because you're lazy like me, it's YouTube.com/PushSquare, where you can find live streams from Alex Stintons. You can find the Alex Stintons from. you can get the vlogs from King of PushSquare.com, Sammy Barker, and other video shenanigans and so on. And where would they like to go if they could hear more of us, Tarrant?
I like the way you entered in that voice. Couldn't be bothered with the middle.
It's
and then
because the
accent.
links, it
was just too
feels
much,
robotic
yeah.
otherwise, you know? And it's like, Mr. Tarrant, what do you think?
Well, on the Pushsquare podcast can also be found SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
And especially on iTunes, if you leave us an honest review.
Yeah,
of
give
our
us
hard
the
work.
ego points, man. 5
Them
stars.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 star. And make sure you keep it on pushsquare.com, which, coincidentally, is the base PlayStation 5th cert on the internet. Let's try again. Which, coincidentally, is the best PlayStation website on the internet. And if anyone tells you otherwise, you can punch them in the face.
That's a rule.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to the Push Square Podcast. For the latest PlayStation news, reviews, and features, visit www.pushsquare.com.